Yeah, I think from the start of camp, kind of seeing those top four guys and having an expectation, and then seeing them getting going and getting running around. Kind of everyone has met that expectation, and been very pleased with all four guys. From T.J. Harden, the new guy from UCLA who just joined us, to CJ, who we got in the spring, and Derek, who's here with us last year, to Chunky, who showed up and has been doing a great job all summer, and has picked up right where we thought he'd leave off at the start of camp. So really pleased, and pleased with how they're working, and pleased with the toughness that they've shown so far.
This time last year, no one really knew who Burchard was. I mean, you did, but a lot of us didn't know he was going to be what he became. Does that kind of give you some comfort in knowing that maybe that happens again this year and one of these guys can kind of break out in a similar way?
Yeah, I think if you press me on if it would be a situation where we had Burchard type production from one person, I would say I don't know if that's going to be the case, but certainly the way that all four of them have practiced, and the way all four of them have in different ways and in different spots shown up and flashed, that I think you're going to see those top four guys. I think you're going to see flashes of explosiveness from all of them, and I think we're going to be specific with things that we do with certain guys and not with others. But also, all of them can do everything too. It's just the level with which some of them do other things better than others. But they've all been very impressive. I've been impressed.
Do you think another way maybe to get that sort of production Burchard Smith has had as a room is because the offensive line could take a step forward?
Yeah, I mean, you look at our offensive line last year, we performed at a high level, and I think we feel good about our offensive line again this year. And our success is going to depend on how well we can run the ball, and it's going to take not only the four running backs and not only the first five guys that take the field for Coach Justice on the offensive line. It's going to take more than 11 guys for our offense this year to be successful. It's going to take 25 to 30 guys that we're going to ask to be productive through the non-conference slate. And then when we get into ACC play, I think we'll even have a more indication of how our offense looks and where it goes from there.
Do you have an idea of how you want to see the running back room play out, as far as how you get guys carries to then see what they can do, and then how do you evaluate camp versus East Texas A&M then to Baylor in week 2?
I think there's phases of evaluation. That's one phase has already taken place, this initial evaluation, and now we're getting into the kind of the dog days of camp evaluation. There's going to be an East Texas A&M evaluation, and so on and so forth. But I'll say this: the most productive back will get the most work. The most productive back will get the most work. Who can make people miss? Who can we trust in protection? Who can we trust with ball security? If one of those four guys goes out and can't hold on to the ball when being tackled at contact, then he's not going to be able to play for us. And so, in a way, that competition and the four of them being able to be productive doesn't mean that all of them will have the opportunity to be productive if they lose that opportunity based on us not being able to trust them in certain roles, and so, or certain ball security, which is we got to value the football. And so they all four know that as quickly as this can turn into a four-man race for work, is as quickly as people drop out of the race if we can't trust them to take care of the football or on their assignments. And knock on wood, they've been good the last week with ball security. It was a rough first week, so that's something we're harping on.
What did you see from Derek McFall in just the few games that he played last year, and how have you seen him kind of develop over the summer?
Yeah, that's a good question. Derek's in his 4+ Penn State game, his 5 games he played, Clemson as well. You could see that the game speed wasn't too much for him, and actually that he was able to add to the speed with his speed and be productive and be a playmaker. And I think that really showed up in the Cal game, where he got loose a couple times. He has, you guys have said it, I've said it, he's got a little bit of that slasher, scat back, speed type flex out things that we can do with Burchard. He's of that mold, and he hasn't told us anything to think that he can't do that so far in camp. So, and he's tough. He's from East Texas. A tough background, a tough kid. He's been through adversity in his life. So when it turns into game time, that's one of the dudes I want with me.
Does Dramico have any kind of markers to hit for you as far as getting onto the field early?
No, I mean, what he's shown so far in practice, he's whatever marker that is with the eye test, he's passed. Just being able to trust him. It's you got fall camp and we do a heavy install in the beginning and we kind of taper off the install, and that's what I was telling them after practice. Like, when we go to practice 11, you still have to master install number 1, and so it's a matter of the whole playbook, okay, the whole cookbook. We can take different plates from it and we can throw it to you when you're not expecting it. That trust factor is its own evaluation. As long as we can trust him with his playbook knowledge, as long as we can trust him in protection, as long as we can trust him with the ball, he is ready to play.
You mentioned the versatility with Derek McFall being able to catch the football. Obviously, Chris Johnson has some of that as well, and then TJ Harden, I think, caught over 40 passes at UCLA.
I think he might have been their leading or second leading receiver.
It's possible. So how nice is it knowing that really no matter who's out there, you don't lose that sense of versatility with the offense?
Yeah, I mean, there were times last year where we were specifically subbing in Burchard or Junior or Derek when he was the games he was active for specific plays that we wanted to get to specific guys. And I think that pigeonhole, in terms of by play type deal, it doesn't have to be that sort of way and that sort of mold for us when you got guys that, while TJ's 228 pounds, like, he can still move, he can still catch. We had him in the slot yesterday a little bit doing some things in Indy and things like that. I mean, it's just a matter of, it makes our jobs easier as coaches that we have kind of the same threshold of skill, to get out there.
Anything else?